Good evening, friends. Once again, welcome back to Miles to Go Before I Sleep. Hope all of you are doing fine. Today is my second day at St. Petersburg, and as per the weather forecast, it's drizzling outside. Luckily, I brought an umbrella with me, and looking at the weather, I decided that today I'll visit the Winter Palace and the Hermitage, because visiting the Hermitage alone takes almost an entire day, and it will be indoor also. Hermitage is situated within the Winter Palace and its precincts, and it takes around 34 minutes to reach Winter Palace from my place of residence here in High Street via public transport. However, I made a goof up here. I took a bus towards the opposite direction, and after covering some distance, I realized it and took another bus towards Winter Palace. The Winter Palace is one of the most outstanding monuments of architecture located in St. Petersburg. The current building of the palace was built in 1754 to 1762 by the Italian architect Francesco Bartolomeo Rastrelli during the reign of Empress Elizabeth. This is the fifth building of the Winter Palace and the most outstanding inside. It is worth mentioning that the four predecessors of the Winter Palace unfortunately were not preserved to this day. The Winter Palace served as the official residence of the House of Romanov, previous emperors from 1732 to 1970. It is situated between Palace Embankment and Palace Square, adjacent to the site of Peter the Great's original Winter Palace. The emperors constructed their palaces on a monumental scale that aimed to reflect the might and power of Imperial Russia. From the palace, the tsars ruled over 2.28 crore square kilometers. That comes about almost 1/6 of the Earth's landmass, and 125 million subjects by the end of 19th century. The palace is designed as a closed quadrangle and has an extensive yard. The abundance of excellent decorative details and many statues create a unique atmosphere of luxury and wealth. The south facade of the palace entrance has 3 arches that lead to the front yard, from which one can get to the main entrance of the palace. Together with Rastrelli, several prominent architects such as Gian Battista Valin di la Motte and Antonio Rinaldi, Giacomo Quarenghi and Ivan Starov worked on the interior decoration of the palace. In 1820, there was created the military gallery dedicated to the War of 1812 by the architect Carlo Rossi. During the Great Patriotic War, the Winter Palace was bombed 3 times. Several rooms were severely damaged, but the destroyed areas fortunately were restored after the war. Well, after doing the mandatory photo shoot in front of the Winter Palace, I went towards the Hermitage. This is the General Staff building. Public entry is not allowed there. Tickets for this Hermitage Museum can be booked from this website, that is hermitagemuseum.org, but only on advance. If you are visiting today and you want to purchase tickets online today, it's not possible. On the day itself, you have to collect the ticket from ticket counter. And I don't know why there was huge queue in front of the entrance. Maybe there was lunch break going on, or there was huge crowd. I had to stand in the queue for about 1.5 hours to get the ticket. Hermitage tickets are available from the range of 500 to 1500, and for children and pensioners the entry is free, and on every third Thursday of the month the entry is free for everyone. Monday the museum remains closed except for Friday and Saturday. It remains open from 11 am to 6 pm, and on Friday and Saturday it remains open till 8 pm. There is a garden and a cafe where you can have your tea, coffee, bread, etc., but obviously at a higher price than the market price. You can see the condition inside the premises also. The queue which was standing outside, along with that another 50 odd people are standing inside the building to take tickets. You can book a tour of the museum with a guide also, but that is only available in Russian language, so I didn't book that. It was of no use to me, at least as of now. St. Petersburg's most popular visitor attraction and one of the world's largest and most prestigious museums, the Hermitage is a must-see for all first-time travelers to the city. With over 3 million items in its collection, it also definitely rewards repeat visits, and newcomers can only hope to get a brief taste of the riches on offer here. From impressionist masterpieces to fascinating oriental treasures, one estimate has it that you would need 11 years to visit each exhibit on display for just 1 minute. So many visitors prefer to organize a guided tour to ensure that they have time to catch all the collection's highlights. Art aficionados, however, may find it more rewarding to seek out for themselves the works that they are particularly interested in. The bulk of the Hermitage collection is housed in the Winter Palace, formerly the official residence of the Roman tsars, and its several annexes. However, there are a number of other sites that constitute part of the Hermitage, including the recently opened storage facility in the North St. Petersburg, which offers guided tours through some of the museum's vast stocks. Hermitage was founded in 1764 when Empress Catherine the Great acquired a collection of paintings from the Berlin merchant Johann Ernst Gutowski. The museum celebrates the anniversary of its founding each year on 7th of December, St. Catherine's Day. It has been open to the public since 1852. The art newspaper ranked the museum 10th in their list of the most visited art museums in the world. The art museum ranked the museum 10th in their list of the most visited art museums in the world, with 2.8 million visitors in 2022. The Hermitage is a federal state property and it has several exhibition centers abroad also. If we talk about the collections of the Hermitage, the Western European art collection includes European painting, sculpture and applied art from 13th to 20th centuries. Since 1940, the Egyptian collection dating back to 1852 has occupied a large hall on the ground floor in the eastern part of the Winter Palace. The collection of classical antiquities occupies most of the ground floor of old and new Hermitage buildings. The interiors of the ground floor were designed by German architect Leo von Kleenzep in the Greek Revival style in the early 1850s. On the ground floor in the western wing of the Winter Palace, the collections of prehistoric artifacts and the culture and art of the Caucasus are located, as well as the second treasure gallery. The prehistoric artifacts date from the Paleolithic to the Iron Age and were excavated all over Russia and other parts of the former Soviet Union and Russian Empire. Among them is a renowned collection of the art and culture of nomadic tribes of the Altai from Pazyryk and Bashadar sites, including the world's oldest surviving knotted pile carpet and a well-preserved wooden chariot. The Caucasian exhibition includes a collection of Urartu artifacts from Armenia and Western Armenia. the gallery of Peter the Great. It's already 4:30 p.m. and still there are so many people waiting in the queue to enter the museum. You can only assume when will they enter and how much they will be able to see. The rooms on the first floor of the old Hermitage were designed by André Stackenschneider in revival styles in between 1851 to 1860. Although the design survives only in some of them, the first floor of New Hermitage contains three large interior spaces in the center of the museum complex with red walls and lit from above by skylights. These are adorned with 19th century Russian lapidary works and feature Italian and Spanish canvases of the 16th to 18th century. The Knights Hall, a large room in the eastern part of the New Hermitage originally designed in the Greek Revival style for the display of coins, now hosts a collection of Western European arms and armor from the 15th to 17th centuries, part of the Hermitage arsenal. The rooms and galleries along the southern facade and in the western wing of the New Hermitage are now entirely devoted to Dutch Golden Age and Flemish Baroque painting of the 17th century. The first four rooms on the southern facade of the Winter Palace are occupied by the collections of German fine art of the 16th century and French fine art of the 15th to 18th centuries. The richly decorated interiors of the first floor of the Winter Palace on its eastern, northern and western sides are part of the Russian culture collection and hosts the exhibitions of Russian art from the 11th to 19th century. finally, after visiting Hermitage to the best of my capabilities, I go out and see that the weather has completely changed from the morning. It's become sunny, and that is the basic characteristics of the weather of St. Petersburg. It changes frequently. Sometimes you can see light drizzling and then you can see bright sunlight. Anyway, it was already 7 to 7:30 p.m. in the evening and I ought to have dinner. So today I decided to have dinner in this Indian restaurant called Tandoor. It's situated in 10 Admiralteyski Prospect, St. Petersburg, and I saw quite a few good reviews about this restaurant in a couple of YouTube videos. So I decided to give it a try. And being located at the heart of the St. Petersburg, the food items were costly, even by Moscow standards. But the taste was really good and it deserved all the hype it had in the YouTube and social media. I'll suggest that if you're going to St. Petersburg, you must try it once. Well, after the dinner was over, I was walking along the streets and initially I thought that after dinner I would straight away go to my apartment where I was staying. But since the weather had changed, I decided to explore the river cruise options, and right across the river banks you can see multiple options of river cruise companies are waiting for you. First I talked to a lady, she was offering river cruise on a large cruise like we see in Moscow, this Radisson cruise. It costs around 1800 rubles and along with it you get a glass of champagne or wine complimentary. That is of no use to me because I am a teetotaler. I finally found this guy who was offering river cruise at 500 ruble for 1 hour. I had to wait around 15 minutes for arrival of the boat. You can enjoy the views both from an open air position as well as heat control area within the boat also. You get to see multiple options of river cruise in St. Petersburg, ranging around from 400 to 2000, even 3000 also, depending on the type of cruise. But one thing is assured, you should not miss this ride at all. This is one of the most favorite attraction of the city. There you can see the Winter Palace. Even in Moscow we have river cruise, but there the river is not that much wide. Here the Neva river feels like a sea. It's quite wide. That is the bell tower from Peter and Paul Fortress. Some of these bridges open in two parts in night at around 12 o'clock, but we are not fortunate enough to see that because we took the cruise around 8:15 or so. The view from the cruise is just mesmerizing, and this was one of the best moments of my experience in the entire St. Petersburg. Inside the cruise, they were giving description about the places which we were passing by at that point of time, but obviously in Russian, out of much use to me. There you can see the Church of the Savior on the spilled blood. This is the St. Isaac's Cathedral, situated at St. Isaac's Square. When I boarded the boat, one lady came with the DSLR and took a photo of everyone. Initially, I thought that they are taking this picture because of security reasons, but later while exiting, I saw that they have imprinted our photographs in little plates and were selling it on 500-600 ruble per plate. While going for catching the return bus, I saw this guy is performing with fire in front of Winter Palace. And that's all from day 2 of St. Petersburg. If you have liked the video, then please do like, share and subscribe the channel to help me grow. Spasibo, bam balchoy.